So you've just picked up your first camera, congratulations. You are never going to look at the world the same again. But to make sure you are getting the most out of your camera, there are a couple of things that you're going to need to get. In this video, I'm going to go through what my top 5 camera accessories are to make sure you are getting the best shots for both photography and for video. So the first essential camera accessory that you need to add to your kit is a tripod. Now, tripods come in lots of different shapes and sizes, different purposes, and different budgets. When you're starting out, it really isn't necessary to invest in a very expensive tripod. You just need something that is going to get you by to start off with. Now, the reason why you're going to need a tripod is so you can capture nice, sharp, stable images. When you're using longer shutter speeds on your camera, there is only so much movement that the camera can take before you are adding movement to your shot. So the longer you've got your shutter open, the more movement that is incorporated into that exposure. So by having your camera on a tripod, it means that you can use a longer shutter speed. What I've got here is a travel tripod made from Ulanzi. It is nice, lightweight, made out of carbon fiber. It is more a general purpose type of photography tripod. Now, this type of tripod isn't going to be any good for doing video. I mean, you can use it for some basic filming, but for video, you do need what's called a fluid head video tripod. This is so you can get more control over your movement with your camera. This type of tripod is going to be really good for travel, for real estate, for portrait, for product photography, that type of thing. Now, you don't need to go out and buy the top of the range for when you are starting out. Just grab yourself a $50 special off Amazon, because as your skills grow as a photographer, your camera kit will evolve with you. And when you're starting out, you're not necessarily sure where you're going to start out with all of that stuff. So grabbing a $50 special off Amazon is going to do the job well. My only recommendation is to make sure it has what's called an Arca Swiss head on it, so it can take the Arca Swiss plates. It just makes it so much easier to be able to leave the camera plate on, so you can just take it on and off without having to take the plate off every time. It just gets really annoying. You don't have to use Arca Swiss. There are other types of plates out there, but Arca Swiss is nice, cheaper, and easy to use. So the second essential camera accessory you're going to need is SD cards. You are going to want to save your photos and footage somewhere on your camera, and that's why you need SD cards. Now, they come in different speeds and different capacities, and there are lots of different brands out there. What I do recommend is finding out what the top speed is of your camera is capable of, because it does speed up your workflow when you are taking shots. The other thing is that I highly recommend that you avoid the cheaper brands. You want a reputable brand for your SD cards. Reason being is that you never want to be in a situation where you've been out all day, taken all these amazing shots or filmed all this amazing footage, and the SD card has failed on you, and the cheaper ones will do that. It is guaranteed. So do make sure you do get a reputable brand and spend just a little bit more to get a good quality SD card. As a bonus accessory, while we're talking about memory, I do recommend grabbing yourself an SSD drive. These are a game changer and will speed up your workflow. What I do is when I get home, I will chuck all the footage or photos onto one of these, work off that project, and then when I'm finished, I will put it on a traditional hard drive to back it up. These are so much faster than your normal external hard drives, which speeds up your workflow. Plus, to grab one of these, it is cheaper than upgrading the hard drive on an internal drive for your MacBook, for example, because you can grab one of these for, say, 1 terabyte for around $100, when for that on a MacBook is going to cost you a lot more. So these are a game changer. So my third essential camera accessory is batteries. Look, pretty self-explanatory. You never want to be out on a shoot and have your camera battery go flat on you and you don't have a replacement, so you can't keep shooting. I always keep these with me fully charged, so you never know when you're going to need it, because look, it will happen. When I get home from a shoot, I will just take a battery out of the camera, put it on charge straight away, and then I know it is ready to go for when I need to go to the next shoot. Now, what batteries should you get? Well, look, just a heads up, some camera manufacturers and models won't allow you to use aftermarket batteries. So in some circumstances, you do need to get the manufacturer's branded batteries. But do your research, because if your camera will allow you to use aftermarket batteries, you can save yourself a bit of money there. So the fourth essential camera accessory that you need in your kit is cleaning products. To be able to get the best shots that you can from your camera, you need to make sure it is nice and clean. Make sure you grab yourself a rocket blower. These are essential for keeping dust off your lenses and image sensor. When you pick it up, make sure you give it a double squeeze to make sure it's still working. You can also get electronic versions of these. When they first came out, I thought they were a bit of a gimmick, but I had this one sent out to me and I actually carry this with me all the time. I really like it. The other part of keeping your camera clean is by keeping your image sensor clean, and this is where an image sensor cleaning kit comes in. Now, some people are a little bit scared of doing this, but look, if you've got the right products and you follow the instructional videos here on YouTube, it is actually really easy to do. I do it on a regular basis because there is nothing worse than coming home, seeing your footage or your photos that you've taken, and there is dust all over your shots. You can clean it up in post-production, but you want to be able to get the best shots that you can to begin with. So keeping your image sensor nice and clean is the way to go. Now, my fifth essential camera accessory is a camera bag. What gave that away? Well, look, you're gonna need a nice camera bag to be able to keep your gear safe for when you're out and about. Now, camera bags come in lots of different shapes and sizes and capacities and different budgets. Now, they also come in different styles where you can have an over-the-shoulder sling, to backpacks, or to even hard cases like a Pelican case. Do your research as to find out what will work for you. Now, when you do grab yourself your first camera bag, I do recommend getting one that will grow with you. So get one that is a bigger capacity than what you're expecting, because as you grow as a photographer or filmmaker and your skills increase, you will gather more accessories for your kit to use as you grow. So do get one that has a bigger capacity than what you're expecting to have. That is my biggest regret for when I got my first camera bag, and I wish I knew that for when I started out. So there you go, they are my top 5 essential camera accessories that you should get for when you're starting out as a photographer or filmmaker. I wish I knew all this stuff when I started out in my career, so I'm glad that I can help you out on your journey. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative, feel free to subscribe. The button's down there. Just give it a little bit of a caress. Would love for you to join my growing YouTube community here on my channel. My name is Jem Lang, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.